Hey everyone, this is Joey G. Welcome back to the TOTB studio. We're going to be weathering this New York Central GP7. This is a Walther's mainline model. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I mask these windows as well as all of the headlights here and the rear lights. Now, this is actually a trick that my friend taught me, and I wanted to share this with you. And I'm sure you guys probably done it this way. I don't know, this blew my mind. Don't ask, I just did, it just does. So you get a piece of tape and you really get into the crevices here, right? You get really inside the model. And then very gently you go with a X-Acto knife, a hobby knife, okay? And you go along the edges of the window. Okay, almost there. Okay, you just hold a piece in place here. And bam, you got your window covered. Now it's not, I gotta move this over actually a little bit here. That way it's in place better. There we go, okay. And do the same thing with the next piece. Or the next thing of, the next window rather. And so, take a piece of tape here, really get into that window, really rub it in to the edges. Okay, so you get the indent of the window itself where you pretty much see it. And so go with your knife, nice and easy. Cut around the edges. Okay. Oh, almost there. And boom, there you go. There's your window. Now it's completely covered. That easy. And I couldn't believe I didn't know how to do that for the longest time. I'm going to do the headlights, and then we're going to push forward with the sealing of the locomotive. Then we're going to start weathering. All right, so we have the locomotive sealed with dull coat, and we're going to go ahead and start weathering this locomotive. Now, I have a lot of these books here. Hopefully the camera can pick this up. This is a book by Emery Goulash. Well, actually, it's Emery Goulash. I think his photographs, but it's by Jeffrey Doherty. I think that's how you say his name. But the New York Central, Michigan Central trackside of Emery Goulash. This is a fantastic book, and there's so many wonderful pictures. If you want to weather or even model the E8s from the New York Central, this is one of the best books. But there's a lot of photos in here that I'm gonna scroll through. I actually found a couple of photos here that we're gonna use as a prototype for the weathering. And what's great about this book is that it has a lot of these lightning strike GP7s in it. And what's cool about the GP7s, especially with the lightning stripes, they were in passenger service for a very long time. And this is the scheme before they just went pure black with the New York Central logo, and that was pretty much the bankruptcy scheme until they became Penn Central. So there's absolutely a lot in this book to look at, and so there's a couple of them that I was looking into, and pretty much it was a very light gray. especially on the fuel tanks. Just a little bit of kick up dirt on the pilots and the plows itself. Obviously the couplers are all weathered up, and pretty much black on top of the rooftop. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and we are going to go start with that gray. And I got this gray from Ames Weathering Products, and we're going to give it just this a very, very nice coat of gray. And we're going to just fade the heck out of this paint. As you can see here, I am not using paint to dilute diluted paint to fade this out. We're just going to strictly use this weathering powder. It's just enough to look like it's being used and it's being faded, but not too bad. Now normally I do the doors on the bottom, on the edges here, like the windows on the doors. The reason why I'm not is because they're really dirty in real life, so I ain't bothered taping those up. We rarely clean those doors and windows. So you can see here, this is just getting a nice coat of some of that Ames gray, weathering gray. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start doing the other side here, and we'll go to the next step. So you can see how it is just really getting faded out now, compared to the other side, which is really black. Here you go. Okie dokie, so I went back over, after sealing the model, went back over and added a little more of that gray. Some of it was sprayed off with the seal, which does happen from time to time. So I added another coat here. It should stay fairly well. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. It's just to fade it just enough to show that it's being used. We're not trying to make this model look like it's been out in the sun in storage. I mean, it's being a working motor, you know. So the next step we're going to do is I want to add a little more detail to all the vents and stuff. And so we're going to take a little bit of this water here, and then we're going to have a little bit of that black soot Ames. I'm going to go over in here with the Q-tip and go inside the vents itself. Clean that off. So there's one way to do that. Okay, go in there. A little bit here as well. Just like that. I'm going to take a little more and do the other side. Same thing. It's a little trick you can use. You can add the weathering powder onto the vents itself and then add a little water and spread it around to solidify it. Or you can do what I've been doing, take water and then, even a brush, you don't have to use a Q-tip, but take some water onto whatever you're using, dip it into the weathering powder, and then apply it to the vents that way. So there's so many ways you can do this. Just like that. That's all we're going to do there. So now what I'm going to do is, what I've been saying is, we're going to be taking, I got a brush here, and we're going to be with a little bit of water on it, diluted, and we're going to go on top and cover the top with that black soot weathering powder on the rooftop. A little more in there. There we go. And actually, it's pretty cool. It has some brown mix in it, so we'll add some of that in there. And then later I go back, add a little more black, so it looks more like soot than black than just dirt brown. There we go. So you have some of that. It's hard to see. You can tell here. And when it fades, and when it dries, it'll fade right in there. Just nice the way it is, actually. So I may just leave it. So we'll go with the air dryer, blow dryer, air dryer. Now, gives it like an okay look, you know, it's not really done yet. So we're going to come back with our nice like makeup brush. We're going to add that black above it, give it some nice smooth surface. And be careful where you touch, because you'll end up having fingerprints on top of the rooftop. There we go. There. Now it's just really much the walkways next. So you can see here how it fades in really nice with the side, with the body too. Go here, fix that. And then let's see, what else can we do on here? I like the black on here, and leave this body nice and faded. Gives it, look here. Oops. Actually, we're gonna do a little more black over here. You notice I haven't used paint yet. We're going to use up the trucks next. Alright, so I think that can take care of this section. And now we're going to be going into the trucks, the fuel tank, and the couplers, and the pilots in the front, and walkways, and then we're done. Okie dokie, so we sealed it up. As you can see, the fading is coming out a little more now, since I add another coat of that weathering powder. The top sort of disappeared just a little bit with the because it's black on black. So I added a little bit of the Anita's acrylic black on top to give it more of a textured look. What I'm going to do is here and add some highlights here with the powders. Since that paint is a little wet still. Okay, I added a little bit of that soot on the top a little bit, and next thing we're going to do is the fuel tank and also the trucks. And we're going to use that little Anita's acrylics along with well, it needs acrylics with the black and the earth brown, both flat paint. And then I'm going to get a brush here. Okay, do that, and a little bit of black. Too black, I want a little bit of that brown. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing. Okay, I'm going to go into the model here. Now this is the base. We're going to make this gray. Some gray highlights because I kicked up from the ballast. But also this base here, which is the brown and black, look like there's a little dirt or maybe a little rust on the edges. Because if you look closely at a locomotive wheel, there's a lot of that that you see that's very subtle. Now you probably see it more if you had like an O scale model or G scale model, even S scale. But we're just highlighting here just a little bit. And while that paint's wet, we're going to go with that gray Ames. And I'm going to come in here. wipe as much as you can so the whatever sticks to the paint is the one that stays. I'm going to come a little bit black, darken it just a little bit, and there you go. That's it. I mean, that's all you got to do. Now you got a little bit of that brown, that black, and some of the gray here, and it just looks like it's been kicked up some ballast dust. And so you can see the difference here on this side, you know, and then you look down here, big difference. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to come back and lower the exposure. I realize exposure is really bright for you guys, so let me lower that just a bit. Okay, so this is the side that hasn't been done. Okay, now we're going to the side that has been done with the trucks, and we'll get some more close-up shots of this once I finish up here in this model. So we're going to go back again, a little bit of that dry brushing, come back, get some of those detailed parts here, the pistons, the roller bearings, the truck itself. And we're going to repeat the same process. Okay, take a little bit of that gray. Mix in there, and my hand's in the way here, sorry. Okay. Okay, get a little bit of that black. Just to dull it down just a bit. And there you go. I see those trucks are done. I don't want to touch them anymore the way they are. So we're going to spray those down here in a minute. But after that, first we're going to go into the actual walkways here. And we're going to use a little bit of black. Just enough to get to highlight the steps and the walkways. Nothing crazy. I'm not even going to bother this time moving those railings out of the way. No need. Just going in just a little bit just to highlight it. Again, when you have a very soft brush, you can get away with stuff like that, especially on details. And oh my gosh, if you're working with tangent models and stuff like that, wow, yeah, be careful. Definitely have a brush that works. I mean, that's soft, that will work, because otherwise you could break those parts very easily, and we don't want to do that, right? Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm going to do there. The next step is the fuel tanks, and the fuel tank. And so we're going to do the same thing. Have that little bit of that brown and a little bit of that black mix. Something's very little dry brushing on this as well. And again, this is just the base. Okay, and then go with that black, a little bit of that gray as well. Highlights it just a bit, just enough. Boom, done. That's it. I mean, that's simple, guys. It goes fairly quick. Do the same thing. A little bit of dry. I got some of that on that paint on the paper already. And straight, and the strokes up down, just like if you're streaking in real life, the same way. And a little bit of that gray dust. Okay. Oop. Move that. Get some of that on there. Highlight some of those. Boom. I mean, that's it, guys. That's all you gotta do. Maybe add a little more of that brown black in here. Okay, there we go. All right, now the front. Same thing. We're gonna seal the sides first, and I'm gonna work on the fronts here. Okie dokie. So everything is nice and sealed. It looks great. Now we're gonna add the fun stuff here. We're gonna add a little bit of the Black & Deez acrylics. I'm gonna get a little bit of that brown from Ames products, that weathering powder. Get a little more black there. There we go. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna weather up this coupler. Add a little bit black on the front of the pilot here. I mean, that's brown dirt. Spread it upward just a bit. Get this coupler a little more. That's it for that. And there's second the rear of the locomotive here. It's a little more black, a little more of that Ames, more black on there. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now we're in business. Get some of that nice yellow off the handrails, but there you go. We're going to use some of that. A little bit of detail there, some steps. We'll get a little bit of that dirt too. It's actually very, very subtle. Unless you have a big model, you can't really see it too well. But we're going to add a little bit of that weathering on the railings here. Get some of that really nice yellow. Just take it off just a bit. Okay, and that's that. So next thing is seal this up, and we'll get rid of the masking tape, and voila, it'll be done. Alright guys, so we sealed the model, took the tape off, and you can see here this is the final result. I'm going to try to lower this light here. Just it's too a little too dark. I mean too light. Oh, that's better. You see some of the detail on there. It's kind of a little blurry too. I'll have pictures of the model after the video here, so you can see a little bit of a close-up of what it looks like. But this is the finished product. In front of the final result here. It came out really good. I mean, you know, looking at some of the photos, just some light fading and some simple dirt spots and kick up from the tracks itself. I mean, that's really it here. You see here, just I should raise it a little. Got a little too dark, right? Ooh, too bright. Okay, there we go. Maybe that's better. Well, there you have it. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you have a great week. This is Joe G with Touch of the Brush Model Weathering. If you enjoyed this content, feel free to subscribe and like the video, comment. I intend to do more of these videos in the near future, as I now have a different channel for the train layout. So I try to keep some of the stuff separate on the channel, but for now I like to have more weathering videos for the weathering channel, layout videos for the layout channel. So again, thank you guys so much, and I hope this was helpful and informative. You guys have a great week.